Republicans have drawn blood in the Tennessee Senate race.
Projection, the Republicans will take
And
control of the House of Representatives.
Ronald Reagan made a Republican out of me in 1980. And then a young business guy, had 2 little kids, young family, been really involved in the party. We'd won a bunch of elections in the 80s, and some of my friends said, you need to run for Congress. And
born in East Tennessee, small town in East Tennessee, grew up there, went to the University of Tennessee on an Air Force ROTC scholarship. And after a number of years, I went to law school, and actually the day I graduated from law school, the next day, I left for the Persian Gulf for Operation Desert Shield and Desert Storm.
Things had changed by that time, and West Tennessee used to be a Democrat area, but it had changed over time.
I decided to run for the United States Congress in 1992 against Marilyn Lloyd. She was an 18-year incumbent. I came real close and lost, got right back up off the ground, ran again, and won in 1994.
Ran for state senate in 1992 against a lady named Annabelle Clement O'Brien, some of you all may remember. Barely lost, but did better than I think a lot of folks thought I would do, and so I was recruited to run for Congress in 1994. It was a big wave, and of course it was a Democrat district, but hadn't had a Republican since Reconstruction, but the big wave carried me through, and we took that majority for the first time in 40 years.
Went to Washington and just took it over from the Democrat president at the time.
But I was always active in politics, whether it was at the local level, the state level, or at the federal level. I loved politics from high school days, through college, through law school, and even up into the time that I chose to run for office.
From 1993 to 2010, I had a primary care practice in Marion County, Tennessee. And it was interesting as the political climate was changing that patients who came in to see me for their health problems seemed to be talking on a personal level more about the problems that we faced with our federal government.
Well, let me give you the definition as a physician of depression. 257, 178. There were 257 Democrats and 178 Republicans when I got to Congress. So we had no chance in the House of stopping anything.
Couldn't be blessed anymore to have the life that I've had. Never dreamed to be in politics. Was asked to run for Congress by a good friend of mine, business partner. Talked to my wife, prayed about it, decided that the country was in trouble. Back in 2009, Obama and Pelosi and the liberals, Harry Reid, they were taking all of our freedoms and ramming government down our throat.
We elected freshmen in 2010 who began serving in 2011. It was vibrant, it was strong, it was optimistic. We knew we were going to block the Obama-Biden agenda, and we did just that.
Well, after 40 years of Democrat majorities, everyone in the country was ready for a change. The people had really expressed a lot of discontent with Washington for the first time in the modern era, really angry about incumbency. Bill Clinton had beat Bush 41, and we're 2 years into it, and there was a restlessness that manifested itself with the public. And then when the contract with America was put forth as an agenda, the country started gravitating towards us, and people felt like something new was happening. And it kind of reminded me of Ronald Reagan's first campaign when he talked about a morning in America, because it felt like we had something new happening there in 1994.
When you get the majority, and it's coming in November, I can tell you it is coming. And I'm doing everything I can to make sure it happens, to make sure that we get good conservative Republicans there. We have to govern.
People were fed up with an out-of-control government that was trying to take their country away from them.
If we're fortunate enough that the American people give us a chance to lead again, as they did in 2011, I think it's important that we unite as a party. Right now, the country seems to be in the ditch, and it's our job to steer it out.
But if we could rally to get in new people, and I'd like to see that happen. And I think we could all agree on that.
Change in direction. The House can do that every 2 years. We're going to get a chance to do that this November. And I can tell you, I think there's going to be a big change this November. And to quote a very good friend of mine and a very great Tennessean, Ron Ramsey, who said, "It matters who governs." Is he ever right? It does matter who governs.
If I could urge our new representatives and senators, just do what the people want. Go up there, make changes, return the power back to the people, and don't fall in the trap that so many public servants fall into, pretending that they know more than their district. Listen to the people back home. Remember, they're the boss. You're not the boss.
I would say that this new majority that we're going to have is probably the last best hope, and this Republican Party is the last best hope for turning the country back and for getting the values back and for getting the freedoms back and protecting them for the next generation. And if we fail this time, I'm not sure when we're going to have another chance.
When we win this majority again, stay focused on the fundamentals of limited federal government, a strong national defense, conservative values that have kept our country free and strong for 240 years, and do not waver from those principles, but do it out of love, and remember that politics is about addition, not subtraction. So instead of dividing to win, unite to win. That's the Reagan legacy. You build by bringing people to you, not pushing them away.